You've been taught to look outward for power, to chase it in titles, to earn it through validation, to buy it through possessions. But Thoth whispered something different into the halls of the ancients, something that echoes through the emerald tablet and ripples beneath the surface of every sacred truth. All is mind. The first principle of Hermetic philosophy. Mentalism is not merely an idea. It is the foundation of everything seen and unseen. To awaken to this is to remember what has been forgotten, that the universe is mental, and the mind is the womb of all creation. Close your eyes and imagine a blank canvas stretching across the infinite. There is nothing yet formed, and yet the moment you imagine color, a brush appears. The moment you think of sound, a symphony begins to play. The mind does not observe the world, it authors it. You are not merely a passenger here. You are the architect, scripting your reality from the theater of thought. It's not that life happens to you. It happens through you. Every perception is filtered through the vibrational lens of your beliefs. Every event is sculpted by the frequency of your thoughts. Like a dreamer, in the act of dreaming, you do not realize the scenery is yours until you wake. And waking in this context is not dramatic or loud. It is subtle, soft, like the rising of inner light behind closed eyes. Mentalism invites us to tend the inner garden, to ask, what seeds am I planting in the soil of my awareness? Are they thoughts of lack or abundance, fear or wonder, isolation or unity? The truth is, whatever you water grows. Your thoughts vibrate. They extend beyond the skull. They dance into the ether, draw like to like, and bring into your experience exactly what you have been broadcasting, often unconsciously. A woman wakes every morning dreading the day. She rushes, spills coffee, forgets her keys. She curses the world for its chaos. She does not see that the storm began in her mind. A man walks with anger lodged in his chest. The world responds with conflict. Impatient drivers, tense co-workers. He thinks the world is cruel, but does not yet understand he is vibrating cruelty into the field. The Hermetic practitioner pauses not to judge, but to observe. What am I creating with my attention? Becomes the sacred question, and so the practice begins not in changing the world, but in softening the mind. Begin each morning not with your phone, not with your tasks, but with silence. Place your palms on your heart and speak, I am the dreamer. I remember. Then gently notice your dominant thoughts. Choose one thought to hold like a candle through the day. Peace begins in me, or I am the observer, not the storm. Let it color your words, your choices, your pace. Mentalism is the art of returning power to its true home, not in systems or outcomes, but in your own capacity to choose a higher thought. In this way, you become the alchemist of reality, not by force, but by frequency, not by effort, but by clarity. And as your inner world begins to clear, the outer world bends to meet it like a reflection, finally finding the face it mirrors. Remember this. Always, you are not the contents of your mind, but the sky behind it. Thoughts are clouds. Some pass in beauty, others in thunder. But the sky remains untouched. In that vast stillness, creation begins. There is a law, quiet yet absolute, that whispers in every echo and glimmers behind every reflection, as above so below, as within, so without. The second Hermetic Principle. Correspondence is not merely a poetic idea. It is the fabric upon which all things rest. It is the invisible architecture that reveals the truth. There is no separation. The microcosm and the macrocosm speak in unison. What you see in the world is what lives unresolved or radiant within you. You stand at the edge of a still lake. You drop a single stone, and ripples expand outward. You cannot drop that stone and expect the water to remain undisturbed. And yet, how often do we cast fear, jealousy, comparison into the field of our being, and then wonder why the world appears harsh, competitive, or barren? The lake, like the universe, only reflects what it receives. Your body is a temple, a sacred correspondence to the stars. Your breath is a mirror of the wind. Your heart beats in rhythm with the magnetic pulse of Gaia. You are not in the universe. You are the universe, arranged in the exquisite illusion of individuality. To understand this is to begin the sacred work of inner alignment, not for moral purification, but for vibrational coherence. When the inner field is clear, the outer field can only reflect harmony. A woman sits in meditation. She imagines light flooding her chest. She feels warmth spread. Later that day, a stranger smiles at her. A conversation opens, and a forgotten opportunity returns. The skeptic calls it coincidence. The mystic recognizes the field energy echoing in correspondence. We are taught to fix the outside, to rearrange circumstances, to hustle for peace. But the Hermetic path invites a reversal. Go inward first. When your inner world reflects clarity, compassion, and centeredness, the world has no choice but to respond in kind. For the outer is but a holographic extension of the inner. Look around. What is your world telling you about your own vibration? Are relationships mirroring back your sense of worth or your wounds? Is your career a reflection of your courage or your conditioning? There is no blame here, only revelation. Every experience is an oracle showing you where your attention lives. And so the practice becomes one of gentle witnessing. Sit in stillness and ask, what in my life feels constricted? Then breathe into the place within that holds the matching constriction. Speak to it. Hold it with love, not analysis. Then ask, what would this part feel like if it were free? Let the vision rise. That vision is your North Star. That feeling is your frequency. In practical terms, before every action, return to the inner climate. Set the vibration you wish to live in. Want to experience love. Radiate appreciation. Want to feel peace. Exhale resentment. Life will reflect what you become, not what you chase. This is not metaphysics for the sake of comfort. It is the compass of true sovereignty. Thoth taught that the world is a mirror, but not for vanity. For remembrance. You do not seek outside yourself for transformation. You look at what arises, and with the eyes of the alchemist you say, this is not punishment. This is a message, and I will listen. When you master the art of inner coherence, outer harmony is no longer a mystery. It becomes the natural echo of your awakened state. Let your life become a living mandala. Let each moment be an opportunity to see what you are broadcasting and then shift. Not with force, but with awareness. And in that shift, you begin to remember you are not separate from the universe. You are the sacred reflection of its intelligence expressed in human form. There is no shadow without light, no silence without sound, no be without sorrow's echo. The universe is not split between good and bad. It is balanced in polarity, dancing in duality forever, returning to unity. The third Hermetic Principle. Polarity invites us to stop resisting the opposites and begin to embrace them as sacred teachers. You have been told to chase the light, to suppress the darkness, to curate a life of only positive experiences. But Thoth, keeper of the Atlantean temples, knew what many forget true mastery is not in avoiding the storm, but in dancing within it. He taught that all truths are but half-truths, and every experience is simply a vibration on the same scale. Hot and cold are not different energies, they are degrees of the same essence. So too are fear and courage, despair and bliss. Imagine life as a great symphony with crescendos and quiet passages. To judge the minor key as wrong is to miss the wholeness of the song. Every dissonance has its purpose. Every winter is a prelude to spring. And within you, yes, within you, there are polarities constantly interacting. Masculine and feminine. Activity and rest. Expansion and retreat. These are not enemies. They are the breath of creation. A man grieving the loss of a friend tries to remain strong. He says, "I will not cry." He buries his sorrow and wears a mask of control. Yet the heaviness lingers, turning into bitterness. Only when he sits with his pain, truly allowing it to move through him, does it begin to transmute. His tears become the alchemy. He discovers that sorrow embraced fully becomes compassion. So many people live their lives trying to escape discomfort, not realizing that what is suppressed becomes distorted. The Hermetic practitioner does not seek eternal happiness. They seek eternal presence. Presence with whatever arises, knowing that polarity is not punishment but instruction. When you sit with your sadness without judgment, it begins to alchemize into wisdom. When you witness your fear with love, it softens into courage. And here lies the great secret: you are not meant to eliminate darkness, but to integrate it. The alchemist does not throw away the base metal, they refine it. And so must you refine your emotions, your thoughts, your experiences, not by labeling them good or bad, but by asking, what is this trying to show me? In every polarity lives a hidden gift. Practically speaking, when you feel a wave of difficult emotion, pause. Place your hand on your heart. Say, "I welcome you. Teach me." Then breathe. Do not run. Do not numb. Witness. Feel the vibration. And then gently shift your awareness to its opposite on the spectrum. If you're in fear, invite a memory of safety. If you're in anger, recall a moment of understanding. In doing this, you transmute not through denial, but through the artful use of contrast. Polarity reminds us that nothing is static. Every feeling moves, every state transforms. The key is not to cling to one and resist the other, but to ride the current between them like a sacred river. This is vibrational mastery, not being always positive, but being always present and aware of the dance. You are the still point in the center of opposites. You are the eye in the storm, the silence beneath the sound. When you begin to see this, your relationships shift. You stop projecting blame. You stop fearing your own emotions. You begin to live as the alchemist lives, seeing contrast as the necessary ingredient for creation. And so remember, darkness is not your enemy, nor is light your goal. Both are teachers in the temple of life. Bow to them equally. Let them pass through you and leave you clearer, deeper, more whole. For the true goal is not perfection, but integration. And polarity, when honored, leads you there. All things rise and fall. The tides kiss the shore, then retreat. The moon waxes, then wanes. Your breath enters, then leaves. This is the principle of rhythm. The fourth Hermetic law, the silent metronome behind every movement in the universe. It governs the undulating pulse of life, ensuring that nothing remains static and all things return to balance. Yet how often do we resist this natural flow? We cling to the highs, dreading the inevitable descent. We fight the lows, forgetting they are the womb of renewal. But Thoth taught in his sacred symmetry that everything moves in rhythm, seasons, emotions, cycles of success and stillness. The wise do not try to halt the motion, they learn to dance with it. Consider the ocean. She does not apologize for her waves. She rises boldly, then withdraws, then rises again. There is no shame in her ebb. She is as powerful in her stillness as in her surge. And so it is with you. Your energy, your mood, your creativity. These too have rhythms. When you stop demanding perpetual productivity or joy, and instead begin to honor the natural rise and rest of your inner tides, you align with the flow of the cosmos. A young artist paints passionately for weeks, then enters a fog of stillness. In the past, he would judge himself, why can't I create? Now, he remembers the principle. He knows the stillness is sacred, the inhale before the next creation. He learns to rest without guilt, and in doing so, his next wave of inspiration returns stronger, clearer, truer. The universe moves in waves, not lines. And so must you. The Hermetic practitioner begins to map their own cycles, not to control them, but to recognize their sacred timing. When you feel a surge of vitality, ride it. When you feel the call to retreat, honor it. In this way, you cease to be a prisoner of your emotions and instead become a navigator of your frequency. Rhythm also applies to your healing. Pain comes in cycles. Old stories rise, then fade, then return again, each time inviting a deeper release. Do not mistake recurrence for failure. The spiral returns not to repeat, but to refine. Each pass takes you closer to the center of truth. Practically, begin to observe your rhythms. What times of day do you feel most alive? When does your energy dip? What triggers your inner tides? Create your life like a symphony. Build in rests, silences, crescendos. Journal your emotional cycles with compassion. Ask, am I in a rising tide or an ebb? Then align your actions accordingly. If you wake in sorrow, do not demand joy. Instead, soften into the moment. Light a candle. Speak to your soul. I trust the tide. Know that rhythm always promises return. No winter lasts forever. No night denies the dawn. Your only task is to stay present through the arc. Rhythm also governs relationships. People enter and exit your life with divine timing. Projects begin and end. Do not grasp. Let the music play. Let others move in and out like breath. Your role is not to hold the song still, but to dance with it fully while it lasts. And here is the deeper wisdom. The more you align with rhythm, the more peace you feel. For peace is not the absence of motion. It is the trust that the motion is intelligent, that every wave has a purpose, that even your chaos is part of the choreography. So, let yourself be in rhythm with your soul. Let your highs be radiant and your lows be restful. Let your heart beat in time with the universe. There is nothing broken in your slow days, nothing wrong in your quiet. The ocean does not apologize for retreating. It knows she will return fuller than before. You too will rise again, but only if you first allow yourself to rest. Creation is not accidental. Every effect has its seed, every fruit its root. In the grand design of existence, nothing moves without a cause. The fifth and sixth Hermetic laws, cause and effect, and the principle of gender merge in exquisite union to form the matrix through which all things are born. They whisper the sacred truth: you are not at the mercy of chance. You are the gardener, and the soil is always fertile. In the seen and unseen realms, your thoughts, feelings, intentions, and even silence carry weight. They ripple outward, setting chains of cause into motion, even if the fruit of that vibration does not appear until much later. Karma is not a punishment. It is simply vibrational law. What you sow, you shall receive, because you have broadcasted that signal into the intelligent field that surrounds and composes all things. But if cause and effect are the architecture, the principle of gender is the creative impulse itself. Gender, in Hermetic understanding, has nothing to do with the human body or societal roles. It is the great interplay of energies, the masculine force and the feminine field. The masculine is directive, active, expansive. The feminine is receptive, nurturing, gestational. Together, they birth all realities. Imagine a seed held in warm earth. The seed is the masculine impulse, a focused intention, a desire, a directed thought. The earth is the feminine matrix, the field of possibility, the stillness that nurtures. Without the seed, the earth remains dormant. Without the soil, the seed dies unmanifested. But in sacred union, they create life. So it is with your creations. You must become both the seer and the receiver, the visionary and the vessel. Too many strive in masculine excess, forcing, pushing, doing, without creating space to receive, to allow, to gestate. Others dwell in the feminine void, full of dreams but lacking direction. The Hermetic practitioner marries both within themselves. They hold clear intention with soft surrender. They act, then trust. They speak, then listen. A woman visualizes a life of purpose. She journals, lights candles, dreams aloud, yet nothing moves. One day, she takes aligned action, a phone call, a bold message, a choice made from her center. Suddenly, doors open. Her feminine energy held the vision. Her masculine stepped through the threshold. A man meditates daily but feels stuck. He waits for the universe to bring change, but inside, he has not clarified his desire. His energy is soft but unfocused. Then, one morning he writes, "I am ready to serve in a deeper way." That clarity, the masculine seed planted in the soil of his heart, begins to grow. He becomes both gardener and ground. Practically, this means beginning each day with awareness of what you are creating. Speak aloud your intentions, not to control outcomes, but to set the causal force in motion. Then, open yourself to receive. Be still. Be receptive. Follow intuition. Nurture the idea like a sacred pregnancy. Everything you desire already exists in potential. Your task is to become the midwife of its arrival. Ask yourself, what thought am I planting today? What energy am I cultivating to receive it? Am I harmonizing my inner masculine and feminine, or am I leaning too far into one, neglecting the other? This inner balance is not only the foundation of vibrational alignment, it is the secret to effortless manifestation. Every word you speak is a seed. Every belief you hold is a garden. Every act of intention is a divine cause weaving ripples across the field of all that is. To walk this path consciously is to cease blaming life and begin shaping it. Not as a tyrant over reality, but as a loving co-creator in tune with the cosmic dance. Thoth did not teach us to dominate the world. He taught us to align with it. To see that the masculine and feminine within us are not opposites, but lovers. That cause and effect are not fate, but choice. That you are not here to wait for life to happen. You are here to remember that it already is. You are happening, and your every vibration is part of the song. So sing clearly, choose wisely, receive deeply, for the universe is listening, and it always responds in kind. And now, beloved seeker, you return not to the same life, but to the same life seen through new eyes. You have remembered the ancient truths that once pulsed within every breath, etched into temple walls, and whispered through the sacred ethers, all is mind, as within, so without. Every polarity has its purpose. Rhythm guides all things. You are the cause. You are the vessel. You are the creator. Let these teachings not be intellectual ornaments, but living flames. Let the principle of mentalism guide your thoughts with intention. Let correspondence remind you that every moment reflects your inner sky. Let polarity teach you to love both the sunrise and the rain. Let rhythm free you from resistance, and let cause and effect fused with the sacred balance of gender make you a master of manifestation, not by force, but by frequency. You are the alchemist. You always were. Close your eyes now. Let these truths settle like seeds in the fertile soil of your being. Feel your breath as a current of creation. Let this moment be your temple, your turning point. There is no need to chase the light. You are the light learning to see itself more clearly each day. If these words stirred something ancient in you, if you felt the remembering leave a trace in the ether, Share your reflection. Let others know they are not alone in their awakening. Subscribe to continue the journey. Speak so that the others may hear your song and rise. You were never separate, only sleeping. And now you wake.